International Groningen.
International Groningen.
International Groningen.
Hello and welcome to International Groningen podcast. My name is Anastasija and today we're going to talk about a very notorious topic, international cycling in Groningen. How to do this, how to prevent mistakes, how to really learn the best skill possible to fit in this cycling capital of the world. I have two guests today, an expert on cycling, Saskia, and a real international from the wild. Could you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Sasha. I'm here for 1 year now. And I cycle a lot, like more than an hour per day, I think.
Successfully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Luckily, yeah.
You're one of the few. Saskia, what do you do?
My name is Saskia and I'm a true Groninger and I work for the province of Groningen on cycling. I want to get all the people in Groningen to cycle more and build better bicycle infrastructure. But next to that, I also do voluntary work for Fietsfriends to help the internationals really feel at home with all the rules on cycling.
Yeah. And that's quite of a job.
Yes.
A little spoiler alert. When I just came to Groningen, I had an accident with a car because I ignored one of the tips that we're going to talk about later, the shark teeth. And, how is it? I'm curious for you, you come from not really like a cycling culture. What was your first impression? Could you fit in right away or was it like a, whoa?
No, first impression was quite nice because in my city, I'm from St. Petersburg, and we don't have infrastructure at all. So those people who dare to cycle in my city, they do it between the cars and they're crazy, but I adore them and I respect it, but I was not able to do it. And here I feel that I have the space to cycle, and it is the first impression that I have a variety of bike lanes and I have a lot of space to do it, and it is quite safe. Because I have this space for cycling. It is obvious. It is a red line. Please go in the most places.
And no accidents so far.
Oh no, of course. Yeah, I fell a few times. Of course, in the when it was quite slippery. And I have a kid, so I cycle with a heavy kid in the seat.
Well, then you really mastered it. If you dare to cycle with a child,
Yes.
I have to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
And then we fell together, and it was kind of a mess. But everything is safe now.
But how did you reach to this point? Did you have to first learn, or what were you researching? Like you just bought a bike and went on it, or did you check some rules, some stuff?
I don't remember really. I think I just took a bike. But my first experience in the Netherlands was in Amsterdam, and it was super crazy. It's 100 times crazier than here. Here it is super sweet and calm, and sometimes you can be in a rush, you can be late, you can cut somebody on a turn, but in general. So I think my first impression was quite calm because of this comparison with Amsterdam. And then I got curious with rules. So I went to the bookstore in the city center and found a book, a leaflet, I don't know, with some rules, like, be aware of shark teeth, some parking rules. So I kind of, got through this. I think the first advice I got from my Dutch friends here in my studies, it was about the shark teeth. Like whenever you see it, just stop and be aware of turning. And the next advice was about don't use your phone while you cycle.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Otherwise, it's too expensive.
That's a good one.
Saskia, if you could draw like this, I think it's for most of the people that they first try and then like, oh, actually that doesn't work. Let's check out the rules. What would be a perfect journey for international when he enters the cycling world? Like, what should she or he check? What should she do? What are the important basics? Like, my sister just arrived to Netherlands, to Groningen, and I was like, okay, how to do the onboarding for cycling? What would you say?
Well, I think there's also a big difference if you already like have a driver's license and in that way have learned some rules of the roads, or if you don't have a driver's license.
And if you don't, let's say we take a person who
if you don't, so that would be then you're really into the wild indeed if you don't have a driver's license or anything. It's quite a challenge to find it. It's really cool to hear, Saskia, that you really went for it and went into a bookstore to find out about the rules, because it's really hard to find. And if the information's there, it's mostly in Dutch. So for internationals, it's quite hard to find out. With the Fietsfriends, we give presentations and we give like events, and where we present most of the rules, and we also do bicycle routes to do it. So I would really advise people to come there
we'll link
as a starting point. But that's not possible for everyone. So I think it would be really wise indeed to look on YouTube and indeed for on a starting point, and indeed ask Dutch friends to help you out, because Dutchies will know the basics to get you started. Yeah.
But they often don't even think about this. They're like, oh yeah, of course, because it's so intuitive for them. Same with Dutch language. Sometimes they just don't know why it is like this. They just do it. And they're like, oh yeah, if the triangle is pointing at you, then it bites you and then you have to stop. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I would like to comment on this because I have a driving license. So I have quite a big experience and almost 10 years. So for me, this shark teeth was kind of obvious.
What wasn't? What wasn't obvious?
What wasn't obvious? Okay, parking rules. Where I can do it, where I can't do it. Super not obvious. And I'm still doubting about it. So I have, this red flag, like don't park in the Wismarkt. That's it.
Yeah.
Then I try to look for some places where I see the bikes, so they are there already, and I then feel kind of safe to leave my bike there. And all of these rules, how to lock your bike, like how to look for the metal construction to connect it to your bike.
How to remember where you locked your bike if it's in the parking with a lot of bikes. Make a picture, like a pro tip. Just make a picture of the number where it's usually at the station or like at the underground parking. Make a picture, make 3 pictures, because you think you remember, but especially if you go for a weekend away or for something, you forget.
And then you can search around for 10 minutes to find your bicycle.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or maybe never find it.
Yeah. Or you never find it because it might be stolen.
It's extracted to the parking, I don't know the name, the special parking.
Oh yeah.
Where they find you with
something that you really don't want your bicycle to go. If you park your bike wrong in the city center of Groningen, the municipality has become very strict, and even within 15 minutes they can take your bicycle away.
Where can I get as international information about parking? Where is it allowed or not? Or because some signs in the streets, they are in Dutch. I can of course translate them, but if I'm in a hurry, that I might not have time for it. So maybe you have any advice where we can look for these parking rules?
Indeed, where to look for it. Well, for the city center, the gemeente has made the municipality has made a really nice map out of it. It's this one actually. I did bring it with me because it's very confusing. There's a lot, but this we can point it on the website later. It's a very nice map on where to store it and where all the safe garages are and stuff.
I've never seen it.
No, right? Super. So it's a bit hard to find this information. So we need to spread it out. But there's some really nice information on the street.
I will take a picture of this.
Yeah. And we'll also link it. Link it in the description.
Yeah, and it also has the information on like how long can you park your bicycle somewhere. With the new, like at the railway station and the inner city center.
And rule of a thumb, like if you could, without this map, if somebody doesn't have a map and doesn't know about the place and doesn't have the map by his hand and she or he is in a hurry, whatever. What are the signs? What are the signals from the infrastructure that can give you a sign like, park here or don't park here?
The park here is usually that there are proper bicycle racks.
Yeah.
That really helps. And like supermarkets and stuff, there's usually some short-term parking allowed. But on the street, don't leave it there for longer than 1 day.
Especially in the city center.
I
think
it's very strict. Yeah.
I think in neighborhoods you can just put it next to your house and then it will be fine, and just sometimes next to your friend's house. Like here where it's at the studio, it's like not many people live here, so it's okay to leave it somewhere nearby the house.
Yeah, in the bushes.
Yeah, in the bushes.
Mine is there.
They have become much more strict with the temporary parking in the city center. So most of the places you think, oh, maybe yes, maybe no, especially if there's one bike standing there by itself without any racks. Don't
go for it. Don't risk it.
And if it did happen, if your bike you put it somewhere and it's gone, what has happened to it?
Well, if it's gone in the city center, it can be gone within 15 minutes. They'll first take it to just on the edge of the city center. It's the Damsterplein. And within the first 24 hours, you can pick it up there for free. So that's
for free.
For free.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, they're like, okay. so that's good to know. So that's easy, and that's walking distance. You can easily Damsterplein.
Yeah.
So that's easy. But after this 24 hours, the municipality really takes them away and brings them to the edge of the city in a special depot for it. And if you want to take it out from there, you have to pay 25 euros to get it out. And it's really on the edge of the city, hard to reach by bus. So that's quite a tough one. You don't want to end up at the
Did you know this?
depot.
No, I only knew that, we have some kind of depot, as you said, but no location, no rules. And I didn't know about this notification of 1 day that is for free.
To be honest, I also didn't know that it was 24 hours. I thought you had to pay for it right away.
Yeah.
I remember a friend of mine got it, and I don't know if he waited for too long, but he had to pay. Yeah. And but actually, the positive, this is quite depressing, especially if you don't know the rules and it's a lot of money for you, and you just spend it, and then your bike is gone. But there's also a positive side about it, right? That these bikes that were like not picked up by people, and they're just there, then later they can also be sold to people, right? So it's a cheap way to get a bike.
That's true.
How does that work?
Yeah, the municipality takes these bikes to the depot and they stay there for a couple of months. But I think like after half a year, if you didn't pick up your bike,
which is fair, half a year is
fair.
Then, I forgot.
Then you really then you probably already have another bike for yourself. After half a year, then the municipality looks at these bikes and they check them. They make sure that the light works. There's that the brakes are good and stuff, and then they sell them as a second-hand bike to people, and that they have special days. I'm not sure about the exact days.
We'll link it also.
Yeah, we can link that, and then you can buy a good second-hand bike. So it's a nice way to recycle them.
Also for quite a good price. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, but you have to be very early. I know that some people, I don't know how it is right at this moment, but in the past, remember some internationals were putting alarm for like 5 o'clock in the morning, because from 6 o'clock they were starting to sell them, and you have to go there because a lot of people are going there to buy a bike. Oh. Yeah, and then you have to get the best one, so to say, and also for a good price. So there was a lot of competition, especially around September or something.
Wow. Good to know. Yeah, it was another comment, by the way, about how to find a bike.
Yeah.
Because, NS has options, but it's only for a few days. And
it's a rent.
Yeah, it's a rent. And then the swap fees as well, but then you go to Marktplaats. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken with this.
Marktplaats is like this thing where you can buy secondhand anything, and there's a special category for bikes.
Yeah, but another, like word of mouth, like just ask people. Do you know anybody? And then you try to find a place where you can get the bike.
One thing that you should not do is buy it from a homeless or from a junkie. A lot of students do this, but you can get a fine for that, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, because you buy a stolen good. So it's
a lot of
How
times.
do you know? You need to
Well,
assume this. Yeah.
A lot of times it goes as follows. You usually go out, or it's at least it should be a bit more dark in the day. And then the random person approaches you with a bike without a lock and says, would you like to buy this bike for a really cheap price, like 25 euros? And usually it's a stolen bike. So you're not advised to buy it, because you can actually get like a fine, or maybe even like police might get intervened. And sometimes they even, to some internationals, they say like, I even have a lock for it and a key for this. But that means that a lot of times they will later pick it up. They will see where you go with this bike, and they have a second key, and they will just open and take it away. So that's easy money making scheme.
If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good.
Especially like, I even have a lock. Like,
yeah, it sounds kind of shady, because my friends recently, they are also internationals, and the bike was stolen, and then this guy saw the bike in the streets.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, I have a key. I can just unlock it and take it. But then he's a sincere and honest guy, and he called the police. And they said, okay, but you didn't claim that it was stolen.
Oh, yeah.
So now this guy, another guy, who parked it differently. So he bought it from somebody. And now it's like legally his property.
Yeah.
And this guy can't take his own bike away. So what can we do with this? Should we claim the stolen bike immediately, or...
You can claim, but there are too many bikes for police to take care of. So usually they'll not really invest a lot of time in looking for your rusty bike.
If it's stolen, then it's stolen.
Yeah.
It's gone. Okay.
It's always good to report it. Because there's so much bike theft going on, and reporting helps the police to at least know where the bikes are stolen, so they can have a better look at it. But they will not help you to find the bicycle back. It's just too much for them. It's always good to report it, at least, that they know. But if it's stolen, it's stolen.
That's why it's also, especially if you're like an active participant of a student life, like you go out at night, you go to the students, to university, then usually don't buy too good of a bike, because there's always a chance that it will be stolen. Or lock it really good, take it to your room, take it to your house. But a lot of like people who steal bikes, they really know how to do it, even with the best locks. There was one time also, like, I think a homeless guy or something. I just bought a new lock from like Akkoord, it's called. Like, it's like this a ring on your thing, and I thought like, it's good.
It's a good brand. Akkoord is a good brand.
And I just clicked it, and a homeless came to me. He was like, come here. And he just took a random piece of, I don't know, metal. He was like, and opened it. He was like, so don't do this. He's like, buy a proper lock, really thick one, attach it to a piece of metal. Yeah, how to lock your bike. That's a good topic. What would be a top?
If you ran into a shop, like 5 minutes, you have to go somewhere, there's always a lock already attached to the bike. If I really have to go for 5 minutes, I just use that one, only for short options. But if you park it longer than that, I would always recommend to get an extra lock and put it around your front wheel to make it harder to like walk away with a bicycle. But the best option is to have this second lock and attach it to something else, something solid.
So we need 2 extra locks.
Well, 1 extra lock would work.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can have that extra lock attached to something solid, that will work. Yeah,
okay.
But always 2 locks.
Yeah,
one that's already on the bicycle and 1 extra.
Yeah, I can comment on this because a friend of mine, she was renting from Swapfiets, and then we had a crazy exam week, and we were really exhausted, and she forgot to lock this thing, the round thing, and the proper lock, and it was stolen with the key, with everything, and you can't do anything with it.
But I don't understand, how do people find these swap feet? Because like they all look black or blue. and they're always parked by the students at the same like place, like a bicycle rack. I just really don't understand. How do you guys find them? I don't understand. I would lose it in the day 3. It's just like they're all parked next to each other. They're like, sometimes I go to, like, especially when there's like a nightlife going on, I go to I don't know, this underground parking at Forum, and there are just like hundreds of them next to each other. I'm like, wow, guys, how do you do? Why do you do this to yourself?
No idea.
Yeah,
Maybe they have some kind of stickers with number. I don't know.
Yeah, that stays a mystery for me.
But Swapfiets is a nice option if you come to Groningen as an international, and it's quite hard to find a good bicycle. Then I think Swapfiets is a very good option.
It's a renting thing.
It's
right?
a renting system.
Yeah,
but you pay a monthly fee for it, and if something breaks on your bicycle, you can bring it to the office and they fix it for you, or you get a new bike. So you don't have to worry about a flat tire or your light's not working.
Yeah.
So that's really nice. Actually,
true.
Yeah.
An alternative to this is buying a bike from a shop, from Marktplaats, like you mentioned, but also online. There's all kinds of groups for sale in Groningen on Facebook and stuff, that where people just sell their stuff, especially when they're moving out. Like now in I don't know, in July, June, usually people already know they will move away. So then they are selling their stuff, from bike to their spoons and everything. So that's also a way to find it. Are there any other ways to get a bike? Buying it from a proper shops, and there are just a lot of them in the city.
Legal ways.
Legal ways.
You really don't have to buy a new bicycle.
Yeah.
There's plenty of second-hand bikes around, indeed. Yeah.
New bicycle, if you really want a good one, but just then you have to lock it super good, and maybe even have like this location tracker. If you have an expensive one, then it might help. It's an investment, but that might help.
Apple Tag.
Yeah. And modern bikes, like really electric bikes, which Dutch people use a lot to travel longer distances, they also have these security systems, like these digital things. But that's an investment that maybe not all the international students can afford. Okay, so let's say you have a bike, you know a little bit of where you can park it, how to lock it. What are the most common mistakes? Like you train students and other experts and other internationals every day. What are the top 3 or 2 or 5 things that you constantly think like, how can they think this? But they keep on thinking this.
It's I sometimes find it is amusing, right? Because
you're Dutch.
Because I'm Dutch.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when I started training internationals, it was also new for me. Like, some rules are so common that it can be quite amusing, and you're like, how can people not think of it? But it because it's international, it's a wide variety of mistakes. But I think in general, it's having a confidence and being predictable on your bicycle. That's where it goes wrong. That people are like so insecure on their bike, and they start to be wobbly on their bike, and then accidents happen. That's really the basis on it. Like,
I mentioned that some people, they show the turnings this way, like,
yes,
but please do it.
Yeah.
It's a gesture.
So when you have to turn to left or right, what do you have to do?
If you have to turn to your right, indeed, you signal. So you signal with the hand that you go. And if you want to do it properly, you really stick out your whole
And also
hand.
in advance, not
in
like
advance.
when you're already turning.
Yeah.
But
And in combination with that, actually, before you put out your hand, you first look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
To see if no one's actually next to you on a busy bicycle path.
But the problem is, you maybe don't realize this, but for international, it's a skill to turn back, because then you're like, and also to take hand out. That's a challenge for us.
It is, And
So,
I never realized that, but that is indeed what makes cycling so difficult.
in the beginning, pre-social media, and also that people didn't use headphones so much, like 12 years ago. Which hand? Yeah, left one was okay, but if I had to turn right, it was more challenging because it's the right hand. And then I would sometimes also just shout, "I'm turning!" And just because I couldn't let the bike go, I couldn't lag, so I just was shouting. I thought it was better than anything, because like a left is easy; it's not your main hand, so to say, but right had to get it out, and sometimes it would not work, so I was just shouting. I was like, at least I did something and just turn.
International Groningen.
Can you tell us a bit more about your experience biking in Groningen? I know you mentioned before that you don't bike that much, but maybe you?
Well, I'm completely new to the Netherlands when I first came here, and I was used to biking, but here it was quite a big shock because everything is like, it's an organized chaos in a way. So definitely be ready to be shocked by how fast the cycling culture is and how well everything seems to go. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Do you have any extra comments or?
The Dutch, they have a kind of an unwritten rule. They bike and they follow these rules. So if you don't follow them, they get annoyed by you and they ring the bell. So you have to pay attention to what they're doing, and follow along with that.
Cycling here feels, once you get used to just the Dutch ways of cycling, once you get used to the flow, then it becomes natural, I think. Like you just tend to understand it naturally in that sense.
Yeah.
You don't require too much thinking or too much doubting when you're going around. It's fairly also easy if you make a mistake. It's easy to take another turn.
Nice. So yeah, I would say I had the same experience. Like you just have to spend a bit more time before you get to understand like how it works, all this traffic signs and everything. But overall, I think Groningen is more of an easier city to learn to cycle.
So. I would say so because it's not as hectic as other cities in the Netherlands.
Well, I got used to it pretty fast because it's similar to where I come from, which is Oldenburg in Germany. So there's also a lot of biking there. That's quite interesting with all the extra rules. You know?
All right. Yeah, that was something I wanted to get into. So I wanted to compare Groningen to where you're from. Like, is there one thing that you can point out that is very different in terms of biking?
There's a lot more bike streets here, like specifically for bikes or like where you can get in trouble if you bike on the wrong thing, like these red roads where you're not really supposed to, like Grote Markt, for example.
What were some things you wish you knew about cycling before you came here, maybe?
The wind. Watch out for the wind. It's deceptive. It's going to blow you away whichever direction you're going. So the wind is the one thing that I'm still not used to at all, even after this long time. That and just be more aware of the cars, I would say.
International Groningen.
And another tricky thing is that we not only bikes in the lane, only scooters as well.
Yeah,
And they
these
are
fat bikes.
so, I don't know, yeah, it's annoying.
We're not the only one.
Scooters, cargo bikes, different bikes. Yeah, there's so much
Some
happening.
scooters, they're quite noisy and you can hear them, but others are silent, especially the e-scooters.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate
They're
and
so
the fat
quick.
bikes. They just take out so much space. They always have a special character, let's say, that they just think that they're kings of this lane, even though there are 20 other people going next to them. And it just super annoying. So you have to also now check out for them.
Yeah. You really, as a cyclist, you really have to be aware of all the different speeds that are going on the bicycle path. And you say 12 years ago. I think compared to 12 years ago, for example, the city has become more busy, more bicycles. So it can be challenging in that way as well on the bicycle path. It's you say like it's really nice. We have a lot of bicycle path and a lot of space for it, but they can be really crowded. So therefore, like being predictable and like sticking in your lane it's important. So the other cyclists know where you are and what you will do.
And also like a rule of thumb, right? That's not really a rule, but it's preferred. Like here is a cycling lane and we're cycling there. If you just keep on cycling, then you go here. And if you want to take over, then you have to go more to the left, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're not cycling. A lot of internationals do this. They cycle right in the middle, even when it's very busy, or right like more on the left side. And a lot of Dutch people are very much annoyed with that, right? Because they just want to go 100 kilometers per hour.
True.
And they just annoyingly, bim, 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 bim. And you're like, what? I'm already on the lane. What else did I do wrong? I'm surviving here.
Yeah, you have to stick to the right of your lane, indeed.
Yeah. I have a lot of undiscovered trauma related to cycling in Groningen. That's why I also don't cycle so much, sorry.
Sorry. Oh.
Don't use physical force. What?
If you go in the middle, then some people, they can start ringing.
Yeah.
And I was a bit annoyed in the beginning because it's a sign in my country that something is going really wrong. Like you do it when it's an accident almost. But here I got it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like a notification. Please, move a bit. Yeah, I need to go. And it's a nice thing. Now I used to it. So
do you do it yourself?
Yeah. Especially when a person and I, for example, see the headphones or something, or I see that the person is kind of distracted, then I can, notify a bit in advance.
Yeah. Speaking about the headphones, it's really like also preferably not to listen at all to anything, but at least leave one of your ears empty, because there are so many signals that you are missing if you don't hear anything.
Yes.
Or use the transparent mode, not the noise cancellation, please.
Yeah, but it's
especially if you're new to the city and you're not familiar with all the sounds and things going on. Having this complete noise cancelling headphone. It's
really dangerous.
It's really dangerous.
It's also dangerous for people who just walk, but it's a different thing. Like especially with busy traffic, but especially for cycling, there are a lot of accidents that are semi-caused by it. I'm curious, like what was another thing that not shocked you, or that maybe like you're curious about, or like what is going on?
Oh yeah, it was super weird to have these crossroads when you can simultaneously go all of the directions.
I think we have a picture.
We do.
And we have some crazy dynamics. Who is going first? Who is letting others go? Yeah, please.
Yeah. This one you mean.
Yeah, familiarize us with this.
It should get its own stage. It's not only confusing for internationals, it's also confusing to other Dutch people in Netherlands. It only works in Groningen, right?
It is, indeed.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a cultural phenomenon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you master this all direction screen at the same time,
you get a Groningen passport.
Yeah, you get a Groningen passport, because this is truly a Groningen.
But what is it for people who maybe are watching from home, who have never been to Groningen, only preparing? What is this?
What is this?
Who is the main? What is the main route in the situation?
And
who need to let others go?
What do you think?
What am I thinking? So I rely on the red line. So if I see the red line, that I am the major in this direction. And but what is going? So if I'm going on the right picture, and then should I give others from the right go, or I can do it first and then they go? So I'm kind of, I'm not sure.
Saskia, the floor is yours.
So after 1 year living in Groningen, it's still confusing, huh?
Yeah, because it's a flow. It's every time different.
It is, yeah. The annoying answer to this question is there are no rules.
Okay, so I'm right. Nice.
So it's anarchy, chaos in that way, because the sign, it applies when there's a green light. The green light is for all cyclists from all directions. And if it's a green light, a traffic light rule applies above all the things that you see on the floor, all the signs, all that shark teeth and stuff. You have to forget all of that, like red asphalt. You have to forget all of that. The only thing that counts is you have a green light, so you can go.
But they also have a green light.
But they also have a green light. So they all have the right to go, and you can go straight and you can go diagonal, all at the same time. And there's no rule then who goes first. It's a bit of a gentleman's agreement.
But that doesn't always work.
But who's a gentleman in traffic, huh? It's a bit of a gentleman's agreement to let the person from your right go first, because they have the longest way to go, to cross. But that's a gentleman's agreement, and that doesn't always work, because sometimes if it's rush hour, you're just in a like a sort of traffic jam of bikes, and you're just in this column, and you just have to follow it, and you can't really break through if you're one bike. So it doesn't always work. It really applies to the social part of cycling. I like it, therefore, because you really have to look each other in the eye and like be protective and be like, oh, he wants to go there.
I hate it.
Someone signaling. But there's so much happening at the same time.
I hate this so much. How many people do you have to look in the eye in the rush hour in 3 seconds? Like, look everybody in the eye. Like, you ready? You going? Okay. I usually take, like, usually you can see that somebody dares, because I don't. And I just stick exactly behind him.
Smart.
And I'm just go with him. I'm like, I'm with this guy. He dares, so I just go through him. We're one chain, because it's more difficult to break a chain than to bump into me. Or sometimes I'm just waiting, standing there, waiting till everybody passes. Oh, it's red again, but at least I'll be the first one in the next turn. I don't mind. I want to survive. I want to just be
Okay. Yeah, it's good to know. I didn't know that the ground, like the signs on the on the ground.
Yeah, the signs on the
don't
ground
work.
Yeah, they don't apply anymore.
at that moment.
Yeah, at that moment. A lot of places at night the light flashes or something. So then that rule doesn't apply. If the light flashes yellow, then it's the rules on the ground again who apply.
So whoever comes from the right has a right of way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or other things indeed there. Yeah.
I think you had more pictures.
Yeah, because we were talking about the shark thieves, but then people might wonder what we mean with that. These are some pictures of the shark thieves. It's really literally translated from Dutch. In Dutch, they are really actually called the haaientanden shark thieves. So,
and an easy way to remember, somebody's told to me, like, if they bite you, then you have to stop. So if the triangle, this part is facing you, and it's biting you, then you have to stop.
It's funny because in my country we don't have this idea. We don't have this comparison. We call it a carrot.
A carrot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
But okay, shark teeth.
If you have to eat a carrot, then you have to
doesn't have this logic. No.
I would think of this association to make it stick.
Could help indeed, yeah.
It's because we have the red contour around the white thing.
Yeah.
So,
and what about other pictures that you have to share with us?
So this one, but this is a really nice rule of thumb to know if you have to give right away or not. Well, sometimes signs can be in Dutch only, like the other one as well, like the green simultaneously. It only says it in Dutch, like tegelijkertijd groen. And this is also one of these annoying examples that it says the complicated word uitgezonderd. Would you know what that word means?
Not really, but I think what I do when I see it, I think I go there. But if I go on. I don't have an answer. Yeah,
all right,
I can't remember
one. Yeah, because the red sign on the red sign on top of the white stripe is
no
like
way,
like no entrance sign indeed. So I think that would be familiar for a lot of people. But then the sign underneath it, it says uitgezonderd means except for.
Yeah.
So no entrance except for bicycles. Or except for bicycles and mopeds. So
I think I met this
nice.
kind in Germany, and then I remember. So I decided to go, but I wasn't sure.
Well, you were right. On a bicycle, you could.
Why it is like this in this situation is because it's a one-way street, and that is also something that Groningen is famous for. That there are a lot of one-way streets and one-way traffic for cars, and a lot of people say it's a complete nightmare to go with a car here. But that's also a little bit of ambition of the city. They want to make it super cyclist and for walking, but not for cars so much. But a lot of times I used to live at Noorderhaven. It's like this place almost in the city center. And then a lot of times international especially would go on the other side of the street where you cannot go. So how can we know if something is a one-way street and you will bump into a car, or if something is like a two-way street? How to know?
Probably following the signs, but there's so many. Sometimes it's a jungle of sort of signs.
But just know.
But you can usually see it on the directions where if there's cars parked or the way the cars go, that usually helps you with that, to know at least for the in the general sense. But for the bicycles, there's a lot of these except for signs. It's really, really nicely done indeed, that the cars can usually go only one direction, but as a cyclist you can almost go everywhere.
And if we talk about the city, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm right. If we talk about the city of Groningen, the city center, then basically every street where cars go around the water, next to water from both sides, they're all one way.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to know, that you can only go one way, and if you have to go on the other way and cycle on the others, some people are cycling just on the pavement, which is something that you should really not do. But actually, usually you have to go to the other side and cycle on the other side of the water. It's quite, it's not so intuitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people just dare to, but you can really have an accident. I used to live, like I said, and I could see through my window this traffic all the time, and all the time people just cycling in the night, car almost bumping into them, and it's just like,
Scary,
if Dutch people do it, then sometimes like they know they're wrong, but they know they're wrong, and internationals just do it and they don't know they're wrong, so they're like, oh, la la la, and that can be dangerous.
Because then you're not aware that you do something. Yeah.
What are other things, like what internationals are not aware that they are bringing danger to themselves?
Well, cycling without proper lights on a bicycle it can be dangerous, because
for your wallet also, right?
Indeed, yeah. For your wallet, I think it can be around €70 if you would get a fine per light.
Oh, really? Not per one.
You found out?
Yeah, but not personally, but my friends in Leiden, they said that it's per light. It's like 50 or 60.
So you have to have both in front and in the back of your bike a proper light. It's especially you almost must have it, but it's especially relevant for darker months, because you really cannot see anything, and it's really dangerous because there are so many of you, especially if you're just by yourself crossing something where cars also go. They just don't see you. There's no way to see you. And
and usually on the bike we have these lights with a battery inside, and if it's dead, then you need to change it. But in the mornings we usually don't have time for it, so I might maybe advise to have rechargeable ones, and you can connect them and put them on to charge in the night. It's much more convenient.
Yeah, and you can buy them anywhere in the city, right? In a lot of shops, but you just really have to make sure that you have them. Is this din-din-din-din also a must or not?
A bell.
A bell, yeah.
I think it... Yeah, I think it's part of the things that you really need to have on your bicycle. I've never heard anyone getting a fine for it.
But it's just for your own safety.
It's for your own safety, indeed. And... it's really nice as well. Well, if you're becoming a real proper cyclist, you want to use it as well to overtake people. If you get faster on your bicycle.
If you are in your own country, you can shout, and probably you know what to shout. But here, it's better to use the bell.
Yes,
and speaking about other dangerous things, almost every year it's like a competition. When will it happen? In September. We have an article in local media that there's international on what is in Dutch called the ringweg, on the, how do you call it, highway? Yeah, highway.
Like the highway around the ring road, sort of around the city.
A lot of countries it's allowed, and I understand the confusion, because like in Latvia it would not be good, but it's okay to do this because we don't have so many cycling lanes, especially outside of the city. But in Netherlands it's really not allowed to go where?
You're really not allowed to go on the highway, on the actual road for the cars.
And again, a rule of thumb, if there is in the Netherlands, if there is not a bicycle lane, you cannot go there with a bike.
There are a lot of memes like how to know that you are in the Netherlands finally, and then the wine road is ends, and then the road with
Two-way.
bike lanes, the red ones, starts.
Yes, yeah, and because we have so many bicycle lanes in the Netherlands, and because of that, it's always really separated. If there's not a bike lane, if it's really a highway for cars, the people are really not used to having the bikes there because they're always separate. Whereas in Latvia, indeed, you would be more aware if you're in the car that there could be someone on a bicycle.
It's still very dangerous because people go like hundreds.
Yes.
But it's more okay. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. It happens. We don't think it's okay, but we know that it happens.
Yeah, but like it's all responsibility of a person who decides to go.
Yeah, but you don't want to be dead, so maybe preferably not. But every September it happens. Almost every September it happens. And we have a news article, again, an international on the bike, on the Ringweg, round, how do you call it in English?
I would say like the ring road.
Ring road, yeah.
I think it's the word, yeah.
The road of the rings, sorry.
And it really helps to put, if you're new in a city, you would use Google Maps or something like that a lot. Really make sure that it is on bicycle mode or even walking mode, but don't leave it on car mode because it gives you a completely different option to get somewhere.
I would suggest to use Maps.me or some kind of special maps where they have the routing with bikes, because in Google Map it's not super easy to
do you find it like this? And did you also know that you actually cannot hold your phone?
I wanted to comment on this because I was in a situation where I was almost steady, but I had some kind of, the final phase before you stop. And I took my phone and started to look for a route. And then the full bus of policemen came and stopped. And he was very slowly turning the window down. Moving the window. Oh, no. And she said, put your phone in your pocket. I said, I'm doing this. Yeah, put your phone in your... So he was so strict, and I was like...
And did he right away say it in English?
Yeah.
Because they know, They know it's...
He didn't give you a fine?
No, he was kind to me, but...
You can get a fine.
Very strict.
You can get a fine for holding
it's 90 euros, I think. It's a lot.
I think even more.
Maybe.
No.
So now, before I do it, I'm like, okay, nobody's here. But it's a bad advice.
But you can actually purchase, and that's very handy also for your own safety and for your own wallet. You can purchase a special holder where if you really need to take a look at the route, it just will hold your bike and it will have a special cover against the rain. And then it actually works pretty well. Then
you can touch your phone, but you can't hold it. Yeah.
I don't know how specific it is, but usually if you have this thing, then they will be good with you. I think that. Unless you play, I don't know, Candy Crush on it. Candy Crush, it's such a boomer thing to say. Candy Crush doesn't exist, but something. Or does it still exist? Maybe it still exists. I'm not sure. Angry Bird doesn't exist. But what else? Do we have something
else?
Yeah.
What is... I have a question. What is the helmet rules in the Netherlands?
That's such a German thing to have.
And it looks safe. I'm a doctor by training, and a lot of accidents there. Yeah, the helmet can save.
Yes. Yeah. We're talking about controversial topics. Helmets is really a controversial topic in the Netherlands. Yeah. Because in general, people don't wear a helmet when cycling. But at the moment, the topic is really a hot topic. It's changing a lot because of all these e-bikes and speed pedelecs and all. It's so busy on the bicycle path. It's really changing that you see more and more promotion and things for wearing a helmet. But you don't have to. But I can definitely and I don't ever think that there will come a law in the Netherlands that you have to wear a helmet. But more and more it's being promoted, like for your own safety, be aware. wear a helmet. So I think in a few years' time it will become more normal.
I was preparing for this podcast, so I bought a helmet last week.
Really?
Did you? Why did you buy a helmet?
I mean, I was thinking about it for the whole year, but I feel this social pressure because when everybody don't do this, then you're like, I'm embarrassed. Yeah, but then, I have a friend who's German and he's
Germans
cycling in a helmet, and every time I'm like, okay, you're again in a helmet. Yeah, maybe I also need to.
Oh, that's a German thing. Always German go like 5 kilometers per hour, super slow with a
but I mean, he's right with the helmet, so I tried to do it, but so I forgot today.
But Dutch people do wear it on the racing bikes because you have a whole culture of people going like super, like in very big groups, usually men, who go like with like hundreds of them at the same time on Sunday on the busiest street with these racing bikes. And then they can go super quick, right? So they can go super fast. And then actually everybody wears a helmet.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For racing cycling, it's completely opposite. If you do not wear a helmet there, you are being bullied by your friends. Like, hey,
so you need to put on the leggings, and then you're allowed to
it's
do
allowed.
the helmet.
That's the idea. Yes. But I would like to use this podcast indeed to say to the internationals, like, if you want to wear a helmet, please do it. Maybe we can change it around and
another
make it
good
a bit
thing.
safer.
Another good thing is in the rain, you're very dry in the helmet. Yeah. It was a nice side effect.
But it is, Dutch people don't use helmets on themselves, but they do use them on their children. If they have children in front, like this child seat, or behind, they usually 99% of the times, 80% of the times, they do put the children in a helmet on them. Yeah. Because it's also quite a distance to fall from, especially with some extra force applied.
Yeah.
But I think
your brain as a kid is so... Yeah, it's so vulnerable. Yeah, if something would happen.
On the other hand, neuroplasticity is there. So,
no, bad as a doctor,
I'm a kids doctor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Another question about the kids: should we use the belt? Is it a rule? Are there any rules for this? You know, when
like in a child's in the seat,
or in a buckfeet.
Yes, they should be in the belt. Indeed, yes.
Because we had this discussion with my partner. Yeah. Okay, good to know.
That what does it mean, neuroplasticity? Or that the head is still developing or something?
Yeah, but it's like a joke. That's on the other hand, it's vulnerable, but on the other hand, it's like has more ability to recover than the adult brain. But it's not an advice, obviously.
I thought it has it's related to the fact that when the child is small, his head is still like not fully connected, the skull, or how do you call it? Like that it's still developing? Okay. Yeah. I thought something new to a doctor about the skull. Okay. Maybe it's an urban legend, or I don't know how to explain it correctly. But with children, what are other things? Because we also have a lot of experts and they come with children. How can they master this? Because I can imagine a lot of people are like, I'll never do this. And I think it's crazy. And I think you guys are all crazy. And if somebody wants to dare to cycle with their children in the buckfeet or with a child here in front in the seat, how to learn what to do?
I would learn it in the neighborhoods and start practicing on quiet streets and don't go into the rush hour straight away. But get yourself familiarized. Get some good advice in a bicycle shop on like how to have your bicycle properly prepared for it. But it is a skill on its own, I think. Yeah. So if you master to cycle with your kid, that's.
I think I have a few tips. Like the first one is that weight is distributed differently when you have a kid and when you are going alone. So when I had this accident on the ice in January, I think. It was
you cycled with a child as an international on the bike during ice.
Yes, true. It was a few days, but it was kind of scary because usually you turn with your weight, like you are doing this movement. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to do this. Yeah, but if you have a kid, then your weight is, so you have these moments more You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you're more fragile.
physics, yeah.
Because it pulls you.
So you need to turn your
Steering wheel?
steering wheel, but don't move to the left when you go to the left.
Oh, because that would be too much force.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I didn't know this, so I did it very suddenly.
Very rush hour kind of.
Yeah.
And then it was a bit slippery.
Yes.
All over. Yeah. Oh.
I would never.
But the speed was very low, so it was no bad outcome or anything, luckily. And another tip is if the kid is super young, super small, then have something to give to this person. Like, because when kids, they have tantrums, especially in the bike, and then they can start to move, they can start to go outside of the bike, and this is really scary. So you can lose your control of the bike, and then it's nice to have some kind of, I don't know, banana to give to them, something quick, or just stop and talk with them, and then
that's
go
a good
on.
tip. Yeah. Especially for the fellow internationals. I think a lot of Dutch people just do it intuitively, but to point it out like this, it's quite a handy knowledge.
It's a good one. Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I
I think
think I also heard quite some expats coming here with their kids that then the mom and dad did not know how to ride a bicycle, and the kids were just teaching them actually to be like, oh, I can do this easily. They learn it so fast. That they know the rules and they just go with the traffic, and it's really nice to see. And then they actually tag mom and dad along to be like, hey, you can do it too, Mom. You can learn how to ride a bicycle.
That's so sweet.
It's really sweet.
Yeah. Was there something that we didn't cover that you think is like, that's super important for internationals to know, or something that you like, I wish I knew this sooner?
So maybe about how to park a buckfeed, but it's super specific.
That's an advance. We can make a whole series about this.
Advanced topic.
Keep you posted.
I was thinking, you mentioned cycling in the wintertime. Like Dutch people cycle the whole year around. We also cycle when it rains. Some people cycle when it rains.
Yeah.
But it's a skill on itself, and I would really recommend if you dare to do it, to invest in some proper gear, like a rain jacket and pants and stuff to get yourself through it. But it's worth doing it. It makes you so flexible, and you take off the rain gear and you're dry and good to go for a whole day. So be prepared if you come here to cycle year round.
Yeah, but just because Dutch people do it so naturally, it almost feels like so intuitive, it doesn't mean that you will start from this point. So to summarize everything that we discussed today, use the sources, learn, but also take your time. Just take your time to develop, like unlock a new skill. Cycling by myself, cycling with my hand out, cycling with in the night, cycling when it's a bit wet, like especially in the city center in Groningen, it's sometimes a bit slippery. So really take it step by step. Don't do these tricks that Dutch people have been mastering for generations and generations and generations. So thank you so much, guys.
It is a skill,
Yeah.
This time.
And you need to invest in learning it and mastering it. And maybe some things will still not really be your party trick, but I think we can all enjoy Groningen also from a bike, for just on the different levels and different ways of making tricks.
Don't be frightened by it at the first moment. Indeed, you can learn it along the way.
Yeah,
sure.
But really learn it, not just don't only rely on your intuition.
If something goes wrong, then just slow down and have your time, and then go again. Try again.
Check online. Maybe you did something wrong. Thank you so much, guys. It was a handy and very helpful conversation. I was impressed to hear your stories. How much in 1 year time you already mastered. Some people are still not there, but okay. Thank you, Saskia, and thank you. I think also from an international community that you put your hours as a volunteer for Fietsfriend. I really hope that internationals watching at home will make use of our sources, of things we discussed, and really master their skills in a cycling capital of the world and Europe. Thank you so much for watching.